I've taken a gap year. I finished in 2024. I took a year off to prepare. Or I'm going to take a gap year. 2025 is when I finish, but I'm not looking to take up a job. Right? What should I do? First of all, I cried myself hoarse by saying, don't do this. Don't take a gap year. Being in a job early in your career, soon after graduation, is the most valuable thing that you can do. Lots of jobs are challenging. They consume time. They take away your energy, sometimes your mojo. That is life. If you're working in a toxic environment, then you should stay away from it. But otherwise, embrace the idea that jobs are challenging. And this is an exam that you prepare with a job. Right? Having said that, either due to decisions you have taken or forces beyond your control or circumstances like one that where you have not been able to land a job, you may be facing a big gap year. Either you've already had 8 months where you're preparing for some exam or the other, or you're looking at another 6-7 months where you're going to solely focus on preparing for this. Thank you. Set yourself good rhythms and daily schedules. Do something definitely beyond preparing for CAT. Equip yourself for the kind of job that are there in the market, for the kind of challenges that you're going to face. What do I mean by that? Learn how to work with AI engines and to prompt, super crucial skill set. Learn how to do something with tech, super important. Learn about something to do with digital marketing, how you put yourself out there. So either Google or Meta or Insta, one of that world. Learn something to do with data. Data is going to be huge. Data is already huge. It's going to get bigger and bigger over the next 15, 20 years. And so learn something to do with finances, numbers. And so these are the themes that are important, crucial for a longer period of success. I'm not saying all of you should do all of this, but most of you should say, look, I'm going to attack one or two of these apart from preparing for CAT. You equip yourself for the next cycle. You prepare yourself for your interviews. You become more worldly wise. You're getting geared for the next leg of your career. Suppose you want to be in marketing, read up on marketing. Suppose you want to be in operations, read up on operations. So I put in finance because it's broad-based and a lot more to study, but it could be marketing or operations for you, in which case you go for that. Do that along with your CAT preparation. Next thing, beyond this, what should you do? Have a super good routine to stay fit. Work on your physical fitness, super important, especially when you have a gap year. Don't fall into silly habits that are anti your natural cycles. Don't wake up at 2 p.m. and study till 1 a.m. Not every day. Doesn't work. I know that people have their own rhythms. Some people are morning animals, some people are late night animals, but I don't think anybody is a 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. animal. And unless you condition yourself to be that, which is anti the whole world. So don't fall into this trap that I'll be in my room, I'll study, late night works for me, this is what I do. Go out, meet people, exercise, have decent rhythms, good schedules. All of those are important. All of those are important for anybody and everybody, particularly important for people who have taken up a gap year, because you don't have a forced schedule or rhythms of an office or a college to go to. Therefore, you can slip into more wild schedules unwittingly, subconsciously, just there. You don't realize that your schedule is completely out of whack. And so don't fall into those routines. Right? As far as the preparation is concerned, you're going to have more time than most others to prepare. And so you will have to look to take more mocks, take more quick tests to improve your speed. And so those two parts are very important. Right? But beyond this, you have to figure out ways of learning from first principles. And so very important. Learn from fundas. I'm going to give you a simple visual for this. Let me just pause and take you through this. And so I have a mental map in terms of, let's say, level of difficulty. And so this side is level of difficulty. This side, let's say, I'm talking about quant, LRDI, and verbal. Right? Another element to think about is speed for all of this. And so sometimes what happens is my comfortable level of difficulty is here in quant, it's here in LRDI, and it's here in verbal. Right? So then unwittingly, when you're preparing for entrance exams, you take lots of mocks, you focus on section tests, speed tests, question selection and all that. Then you do not focus on getting this higher up, getting this higher up, getting this higher up. Right? So your scores get capped. So you get 35 marks in a mock, then you get better and better at speed, you go to 53, 54, you get better and better at it, you get 62, 63, then you get really amp it up, you go to 70. Now at 70, you don't have any gears left to go to 95 because you've maxed up your capacity. You've not worked on expanding your capacity. And so very, 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 very important, very often something that's fiercely overlooked. And so how do I take this from here to here? Fundamentals, proofs, rigor. How do I go from here to here? Reading, not reading just RCs, reading big novels, reading long essays in the kind that you get in Aeon. How do I go from here to here? Increasing the variety of what you prep, increasing the scope of what you prepare, doing Sudoku puzzles, doing unconventional, atypical puzzles, doing puzzles and hanging in there with questions that may take you 60 minutes. Kind of stuff that you will never get in your exam, but you add layer after layer after layer, hang in there, your mind builds the stamina to go further. And so if level of difficulty is higher, then speed merchants fall off. And so there are guys who are really quick, but cap out. And guys who are solid, and then who can add speed. And to give you a parallel, I'm sure many of you follow cricket and IPL. There are guys who can suddenly hit 18, 20 runs and over, and keep tonking, and have the ability to swing a mile and play with the mind of players, all of that. But you look at them and you feel like, look, this is good. But if there's a boomerang breathing down their neck, or a stark on song, then they can't. They don't have it in them to play that. They don't have it in them. And then there are guys who can play, who can never do 22 runs and 18 runs and over consistently with joke bowlers, but they have it in them to take 12 or 13 out of a boomerang over. And so this exam is tough. The kind of guys who can score 12 of boomerang may get better rewarded than the guys who can score 22 of some joke bowler. And so if you don't focus on increasing the level of difficulty that you're naturally comfortable with, from first principles, from scratch, from basics, then over some time you'll burn out. You'll burn out. You'll peak out. Your score will go higher and higher and higher, and then you'll find that you've pushed all variables. You have nowhere to go because your capacity has not expanded. You've maxed out your capacity, and because you have more time, work on this. Work on this. Work on this. Long-standing, deep puzzles, time-consuming, irritating ones that are not anything like you may see in the exam, but help you build stamina for hanging in for puzzles. The long 2,500 word essay on weird notional thing about like happiness and sadness and philosophical thought process. It's not going to be relevant you're not going to get a passage like that with that length in CAT, but hang in there. There's a proof for sum of two sides of a triangle greater than the third one. I saw it yesterday. Mind blowing. And so I wanted to know whether sum of two sides of a triangle is greater than the third side. It is proof using the idea that side opposite the larger angle is the longer side, and converse, which is proved using the idea if two sides are equal, then angles opposite to them are equal. Nice isosceles triangle. And so layered proof, very nice proof. Sum of two sides of a triangle greater than the third one. Beautiful proof. It's a proof that all of you should go through. Going through that proof and then having a smile on your face, I'm telling you, gets you geared to be more receptive to tougher and tougher ideas. And so do that. If you've taken a gap year, then rejig your preparation. Say, look, you're basically saying, look, I'm going to prepare for 5 to 6 hours a day. You should basically tell yourself 5 to 6 hours a day. 3 hours is for having my rhythms and preparing and taking stock and natural preparation schedule, 3 to 4 hours. I still have 1 or 2 more hours left. I'll spend half of that in filling gap areas that others might overlook, so that I have no weakness in my preparation. I have a gap year, I'll have that advantage. And half of that in expanding my capacity, not just maximizing what I have. And so reorient yourself to thinking like that. If you have a gap year, bank it. Best wishes we can.